If there's one drink that has been both celebrated and criticized for centuries, it's coffee. For many of us, that first warm sip in the morning feels like a hug for the soul. It wakes us up, sharpens our focus, and gives us the strength to face the day. Coffee is so much more than a beverage. It's a ritual, a comfort, even a companion during quiet mornings or long afternoons. But here's the truth that often goes unnoticed. After the age of 60, coffee can either act as a healing medicine or silent poison, depending entirely on the type you choose. The problem is that not all coffees are the same. What might have been harmless in your 30s or 40s can suddenly start causing real harm after retirement age. Your body changes as you get older. Your metabolism slows, your heart and kidneys become more sensitive, and your bones need extra protection. The coffee that once gave you energy without consequence can now quietly raise your blood pressure, rob your bones of calcium, or disrupt your sleep in ways that increase your risk of falls, strokes, and heart disease. That's why in this video, we'll explore the coffees you should never drink after 60. The hidden dangers inside certain brews that most seniors don't realize. But I won't just stop there. Because the good news is that coffee, when chosen wisely, can also become a powerful ally for your health. In fact, some types of coffee are filled with antioxidants, gentle on your body, and even protective against conditions like memory decline, diabetes, and heart disease. So after we uncover the dangerous coffees, we'll shift gears and reveal the healing coffees you should drink instead, the ones that truly support your body and help you age with strength and vitality. So, if you're over 60 and coffee is still part of your daily life, stay with me until the end. What you'll learn today might just change your morning routine and could even help add healthy years to your life. Dangerous coffee. Number 1. Instant coffee. The deceptive convenience. Let's begin with one of the most common and misleading choices: instant coffee. It's cheap, it's quick, and for decades, it has been marketed as a convenient solution for busy mornings. But here's the hidden truth. Instant coffee is one of the worst options for seniors, and drinking it daily could be slowly harming your health. Instant coffee is made by brewing coffee in bulk, then drying it into crystals or powder that can be rehydrated with hot water. Sounds simple enough, but the real problem lies in what happens during processing. Many instant coffees are packed with acrylamide, a harmful chemical that forms when coffee beans are roasted at high temperatures and becomes even more concentrated during the manufacturing process. Studies have linked acrylamide exposure to nerve damage and an increased risk of cancer over long periods of time. For someone over 60, whose body is already more vulnerable, this extra toxic load is the last thing you need. But that's not the only issue. Instant coffee often contains added preservatives, artificial flavors, and sometimes even hidden sugars. These additives may not seem like much, but they can worsen inflammation, disrupt blood sugar balance, and trigger spikes in blood pressure. Think about it. Seniors are already more likely to struggle with conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, and arthritis. Drinking a cup of heavily processed coffee every morning only adds fuel to the fire. And let's not forget the caffeine issue. Instant coffee typically has less caffeine than freshly brewed coffee, which might sound like a good thing. But here's the catch. Because the flavor is weaker, many people end up drinking multiple cups just to feel the same effect. This leads to higher total caffeine intake, which can increase jitteriness, heart palpitations, and, worst of all, interfere with sleep. For seniors, poor sleep is not a small problem. Research shows that inadequate rest weakens the immune system, slows healing, and increases the risk of falls due to nighttime drowsiness and poor balance. I once spoke with a man named George, a 72-year-old retired teacher. For years, he relied on instant coffee because it was cheap and easy. But over time, he noticed his blood pressure creeping higher and his sleep becoming restless. He brushed it off as just aging. But when his doctor advised him to cut out instant coffee and switch to a cleaner brew, he was surprised to see his blood pressure stabilize within months and his sleep improve dramatically. George realized that it wasn't aging, it was the poor quality of the coffee he had been drinking. So, if you're reaching for that jar of instant coffee every morning, it might be time to rethink the habit. Convenience is appealing, but your health is far too precious to trade for a quick fix. Your body deserves better fuel than this. Dangerous coffee number 2. Flavored coffees, a sweet trap for seniors. Flavored coffees may sound harmless at first. After all, who wouldn't enjoy a vanilla latte, a caramel macchiato, or a hazelnut blend? These drinks often smell heavenly, taste like dessert, and feel like a little treat to brighten your day. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Flavored coffees are one of the biggest traps for seniors because they combine two things that your body is far less capable of handling after 60: sugar overload and chemical additives. Let's start with the sugar. A flavored coffee from a cafe or chain store can easily contain 30 to 50 grams of sugar in a single cup. That's more sugar than a can of soda disguised under frothy milk and coffee aroma. For younger people with faster metabolisms, this might not cause an immediate issue. But once you're in your 60s or beyond, your body's ability to regulate blood sugar slows dramatically. Each sugary coffee spikes your glucose, forces your pancreas to pump out more insulin, and puts enormous strain on your system. Over time, this increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and dangerous blood sugar crashes that leave you weak, shaky, and fatigued. And then there's the fat content. Many flavored coffee drinks are made with whipped cream, full-fat syrups, and artificial creamers that are high in unhealthy trans fats. These fats don't just clog arteries, they inflame them. In seniors, this inflammation can speed up the development of atherosclerosis, the silent buildup of plaque that narrows your arteries and increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. If you've already been told you have high cholesterol or heart disease, these indulgent drinks are far from harmless. They are silent saboteurs working against your health every single day. But sugar and fat aren't the only dangers. The flavoring itself often comes from artificial chemicals. Vanilla, hazelnut, or pumpkin spice syrups are usually made in factories using chemical compounds, preservatives, and colorings. These additives might be tolerated by a younger body, but in older adults, they worsen inflammation, irritate the digestive tract, and may even harm kidney and liver function. Seniors already have reduced detox capacity, meaning your body is less efficient at clearing out harmful chemicals. By drinking flavored coffees daily, you're essentially loading your system with unnecessary toxins that slow healing and accelerate aging. I recall the story of Mary, a 68-year-old grandmother who loved her daily treat, a caramel latte from her favorite coffee shop. She believed it was a small indulgence she had earned after a lifetime of working hard. But what Mary didn't realize was that her little treat contained nearly 400 calories and more sugar than 2 glazed donuts. Over time, she began to notice her waistline expanding, her blood pressure climbing, and her energy levels dropping. When her doctor ran blood tests, Mary was shocked to discover she was pre-diabetic. After some guidance, she switched from her sugary lattes to a clean, unsweetened brew. And within months, her blood sugar and weight improved significantly. Dangerous coffee number 3, decaf coffee, the hidden chemical danger. For many seniors, switching to decaf coffee feels like the safe and sensible choice. Maybe your doctor told you to cut back on caffeine because of high blood pressure. Or maybe you noticed that regular coffee was making you jittery, anxious, or interfering with your sleep. At first glance, decaf sounds like the perfect compromise. all the flavor of coffee, but without the stimulating effects of caffeine. But what most people don't realize is that behind the comforting label Decaf often hides a process filled with chemicals that can quietly harm your body, especially after 60. Let's start with how decaf is made. To remove caffeine from coffee beans, many companies use a method involving methylene chloride or ethyl acetate, both of which are harsh chemical solvents. These solvents are used to wash the beans, pulling out the caffeine. The beans are then heated and dried, leaving behind what the companies claim are trace amounts of the chemicals. But here's the issue. Trace amounts add up, especially when you drink decaf daily for years. Methylene chloride in particular is concerning. Even in tiny doses, it has been linked to problems like dizziness, headaches, and impaired liver and kidney function. For seniors who already experience reduced detox capacity in the liver and kidneys, these chemicals don't just pass through easily. They linger, forcing your body to work harder than it should. Over time, that extra burden contributes to fatigue, weakened immunity, and faster aging of your organs. Now, let's talk about the heart and brain. Many seniors switch to decaf to protect their heart from the stimulating effects of caffeine. But ironically, the chemical residues in decaf can be more damaging to cardiovascular health than caffeine itself. These solvents irritate the lining of your blood vessels, increase inflammation, and in some studies have been linked to arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats that are especially dangerous in older adults. On top of that, seniors who drink mostly decaf often miss out on the natural antioxidants found in regular coffee. Why? Because the decaffeination process can strip away many of these compounds. That means decaf drinkers may actually get fewer protective benefits for their heart and brain compared to those who drink small amounts of clean, regular coffee. The brain is also at risk. A growing body of research suggests that moderate caffeine intake in seniors may help reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system, improves blood flow to the brain, and even encourages the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin that keep you alert and engaged. By switching exclusively to decaf, some seniors unintentionally give up these protective benefits, and if they're drinking chemically treated decaf, they may be exposing their brain to harmful toxins at the same time. So, what's the bottom line for seniors? If caffeine truly bothers you, don't feel guilty about choosing decaf, but be vigilant. Avoid generic or cheap decaf coffees that use chemical solvents, and always look for Swiss water or CO2 processed versions instead. Your heart, liver, kidneys, and brain will thank you for making that switch. Let's begin with the first healing option. Healing coffee number 1. Light roast coffee for maximum antioxidants. When most people think of coffee, they imagine that rich, dark, bold flavor. Dark roasts dominate the shelves in coffee shops because they taste strong and give the illusion of being healthier or more energizing. But here's something surprising. The lighter the roast, the more antioxidants your coffee contains. Light roast coffee is gently roasted, which means the natural compounds in the coffee bean, especially chlorogenic acids, are preserved. These antioxidants are powerful defenders of your body. They help fight inflammation, protect your blood vessels, support brain health, and even improve the way your body handles blood sugar. For seniors, this is particularly important because inflammation is at the root of so many age-related conditions, from arthritis to Alzheimer's to heart disease. There's also another hidden benefit of light roast coffee. It's often easier on digestion. Many seniors complain that dark roast coffee feels heavy, acidic, or causes stomach upset. Light roast, when brewed properly, tends to be gentler while still providing that comforting aroma and warmth. This makes it a great choice for those with sensitive stomachs, acid reflux, or gastritis. And what about caffeine? light roast coffee does contain slightly more caffeine than dark roast, but not enough to make a dramatic difference. For most seniors, a modest cup of light roast in the morning is safe, energizing, and even protective. The key, as always, is moderation. 1 or 2 cups is enough to gain the benefits without triggering jitteriness or insomnia. Let me share the story of James, a 72-year-old retired teacher. For decades, James swore by dark roast coffee. He loved the robust taste, but noticed that it often left him feeling restless and gave him mild heartburn. His doctor encouraged him to switch to light roast for a month to see if it made a difference. To his surprise, James not only felt better physically, less indigestion and less nervousness, but also mentally sharper. He found himself recalling words more easily and feeling calmer throughout the day. What he didn't realize was that the higher antioxidant content of his new morning brew was actively nourishing his brain and reducing oxidative stress. Studies back this up too. Research has shown that seniors who drink moderate amounts of antioxidant-rich coffee, such as light roast, have a reduced risk of cognitive decline and Parkinson's disease. It's not a magic cure, but it's a simple daily habit that strengthens your body's defenses. So, if you're over 60 and want to keep coffee in your life, light roast is one of the smartest and healthiest ways to do it. It gives you the lift you enjoy, but also acts like a protective shield for your heart, brain, and blood vessels. Unlike energy coffees or sugary lattes, it supports longevity rather than undermining it. The next time you shop for coffee, take a second look at those light roast bags, sometimes labeled breakfast blend or gold roast. You might just find that your new morning ritual becomes both healthier and more enjoyable. Healing coffee number 2. Organic coffee, protecting your body from hidden toxins. Not all coffee is created equal. One of the biggest dangers hidden in regular conventionally grown coffee is the heavy use of pesticides and chemicals. Coffee beans are among the most heavily sprayed crops in the world, and when you drink your morning cup, you may unknowingly be sipping residues of these harmful chemicals. For a senior body that's already working harder to process medications, maintain healthy kidneys, and support the immune system, this added toxic load can quietly chip away at health over time. That's why organic coffee is such an important choice. Organic beans are grown without synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or fertilizers. This means your liver, the organ responsible for detoxifying the body, has less work to do. For seniors, a healthy liver is critical because it not only clears toxins, but also helps regulate cholesterol, hormones, and blood sugar. Drinking organic coffee is like giving your liver a break while still enjoying your daily cup. The difference is especially important for those dealing with chronic health conditions. For example, seniors with kidney disease, diabetes, or weakened immunity are more vulnerable to the effects of pesticide buildup. By switching to organic, you're not just avoiding chemicals, you're actively protecting your long-term health. Let's look at the story of Margaret, a 68-year-old grandmother who loved her daily coffee ritual. For years, she thought all coffee was the same, but after struggling with recurring headaches and fatigue, her nutritionist suggested she try organic coffee instead. Within weeks, Margaret noticed she felt more energetic and her headaches became less frequent. While coffee alone didn't cure her problems, eliminating the hidden pesticides reduced the toxic burden on her system, giving her body more space to heal. Another bonus of organic coffee is taste. Because organic farmers often grow coffee in nutrient-rich soil and avoid chemical shortcuts, the beans are naturally fuller in flavor. Seniors who switch often find the flavor smoother, less bitter, and easier to enjoy without adding sugar or cream. That's another health win, because sugar and artificial creamers can worsen blood sugar swings and increase inflammation. Scientific research also supports this. Studies have linked pesticide exposure to a higher risk of neurological disorders such as Parkinson's disease, which disproportionately affects older adults. Since coffee itself has been shown to protect against Parkinson's when it's pure and antioxidant rich, it makes sense to choose the cleanest, purest form available. Organic coffee gives you the benefits without the hidden risks. Healing coffee number 3. Mushroom coffee, the ancient brew for modern senior health. If the idea of mushroom coffee sounds strange, don't worry. It's not coffee that tastes like mushrooms. Instead, it's a blend of regular coffee with extracts of medicinal mushrooms like reishi, lion's mane, and chaga. These are not the mushrooms you put in your salad, but powerful fungi that have been used for centuries in traditional medicine to support longevity, immunity, and mental clarity. Why is this so valuable for seniors? Because mushroom coffee combines the stimulating benefits of coffee with the calming, restorative power of mushrooms. Regular coffee can sometimes leave seniors jittery, anxious, or struggling to sleep. Mushroom coffee, on the other hand, balances caffeine with adaptogens, natural compounds that help the body adapt to stress and restore balance. Let's break it down. Lion's mane mushroom is especially famous for supporting brain health. Research suggests it may stimulate the growth of nerve cells, which is incredibly important as memory and cognitive sharpness naturally decline with age. Seniors who drink lion's mane coffee often report feeling clearer and more focused without the crash of regular coffee. Reishi mushroom, known as the mushroom of immortality in Asian medicine, helps calm the nervous system, support immunity, and reduce inflammation. For seniors struggling with stress, poor sleep, or autoimmune conditions, this can be a soothing addition to their morning ritual. Chaga mushroom is another superstar, loaded with antioxidants. It strengthens the immune system, supports digestion, and helps fight oxidative stress, one of the main drivers of aging. Take the example of Robert, a 70-year-old retired engineer. He loved coffee, but found that it often left him too wired to nap during the day or sleep well at night. His daughter introduced him to mushroom coffee. Within a few weeks, Robert noticed something surprising. He still felt energized, but the nervous edge was gone. He slept more soundly at night and even noticed improvements in his memory recall when working on crossword puzzles. For him, mushroom coffee was the perfect balance.